Did you Victor, right?
Brian.
Oh, Brian is back. Brian, Victor is behind you. Give him the microphone. Now, Brian, did you honor lunch here today?
Yes.
What time? What time did you take lunch?
1.
He's smart, huh? He comes for lunch. Which is a good thing. Srila Prabhupada also said that you can, if you do nothing else except chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and honor prasadam, then take some rest, then chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, then honor prasadam, and take some rest. You can eat your way back to body. But that was only for one person. It's a special prerogative for this and one particular person, not for Brian. Is that okay, Brian? What was the menu today?
We had rice, puri, some soup, I don't know the name. Curry. And
To counteract the age of curry. Okay, what else?
sabji.
What was the subject? Chana, chickpea. And then, Victor, after you honored sumptuously, did you take some rest?
I went for a walk with some devotees.
Okay, so that made you quite conscious now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So there's no samadhi in the class after that feast, right?
There's no samadhi in the class.
Good. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So that devotee with a nice thank you jacket the other way around. Can you just relate and read to us or recap those how many ways as a pre-step? Can you read this first for us? For those of you who are joining us for the first time today, I was not here for the morning session. We are page 14. It says B, forgiveness and humility, and we are number 4. And there was a nice contribution from everyone here, including myself of 1 or 2, about 3 steps after reading this. Read it for us. What's your name again?
Dennis.
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 Dennis. Dennis. Dennis. Okay. Dennis. Read that for us on the screen.
What should I do if I realize that I have offended a devotee, but I do not have the courage or potency or needed strength to approach the devotee for forgiveness?
So, if you realize that you have offended a devotee, that means you are Krishna conscious. You are making spiritual advancement. But if you realize only that everyone is offending me and I don't offend everyone, then you're not really advancing in Krishna consciousness. So this is a good thing that you're realizing that you've offended, but you're not able to beg forgiveness as immediately because you don't have the courage for some reasons and so forth. Okay. Now there's one nice lady sitting here. What's your name again? Back to me. No, don't give me the microphone. What's your name? Rosie. Got it. Can you sit on that side of the ladies if there's some space? Any space there? No. Whose book is that? No name. Take the book away. Leave it in the front. Can you sit there, Rosie? With the ladies. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So now, after reading, what should I do if I need it? If I realize that I have offended devotee, but I didn't have the courage or potency to, or needed strength to approach the devotee to beg for forgiveness. So where's the microphone? To back to him. So can you read the list of precepts that came from all of you that you have written?
Okay. First, you can approach a senior devotee.
It's not number 1 or 2. You can use any one of them that suits you as a precept. It's not in order that you have to follow that. So when you say first, and everyone will feel, oh, I have to do that first. Not really. Whatever suits you at the time for a precept. Okay, just say 1.
1.
Yeah.
Approach a senior devotee.
2.
Serve a devotee.
That you offend.
Yes.
3.
Glorify the devotee.
Nice. 4.
Write an email, or you can even call or text.
Nice. Next.
5. Offer a gift card.
Offer a gift.
Yeah, a gift.
Without expectation of receiving a gift.
Yes.
Right? Next.
Offer a prasad.
Offer prasada. Yes, Mahaprasad. Then
Practice begging forgiveness by offering
obeisances
yes.
from a distance. Nice. Next.
Chant extra rounds.
Good.
Pray to Krishna.
Nice.
Take a vow not to do what you like most until you beg forgiveness. That is Krishna conscious hostility.
Yes. Like not eating Harihansh and not honoring paneer that you like. Not at this age as you grow up. Yeah. Next.
Read scriptures on begging forgiveness.
Nice.
Burn in your fire of lamentation.
Yes. Burn in the fire of lamentation. It's good to feel bad. Oh, that you cannot beg forgiveness yet. Go ahead.
Go on parikrama to gain strength.
Yes.
Give in some time.
Give it some time and you'll get the courage. Go ahead.
Be the first to help the devotee offended in their time of need.
And in the time of need.
Yes.
Or if one is stressed or depression, or if the devotee is in poor health, maybe in hospital, go there and visit. Be the first one, if you can. Good. Next.
Approach a friend or a devotee offended.
Approach your friend or a friend of the devotee you offended. That you don't have the courage or potency and need strength to approach the devotee for forgiveness. What should I do? Please help me. Nice, you captured it well in your notes. And I'm sure everyone else knows the same or similar notes. Good. Now the microphone. Give it to the devotee next to you. Yes. We are on page 15 on the top. Read. Hello, what's your name?
My name is Christopher.
Oh, Christopher.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris, go ahead.
What should I do if I beg for forgiveness, but the offended devotee superficially forgives me?
Yes, if you go to the devotee that you offended, please forgive me, and the devotee says, yes, okay, go. Now go. You you know it's not, he doesn't say that he wants to forgive you. He can feel it, that it's superficial. So, Christopher, if that happens to you, should you go to your friend and say, you know what, Karela Das, I went to beg forgiveness from him, and this is what he did. He didn't really forgive me. What do you think? Now he's offending me. He doesn't follow the scripture. Should you do that?
No.
What should you do?
You can keep praying to Krishna.
Good. It's in the list, right? So write down in those lines. Refer to previous list. There's one or more of. How many ways you wrote? 16. Right? As a precept. But don't compound, don't complicate it to make it further offensive. Nice. Give the microphone on that side to one of the Vaishnavis, ladies. Who's the person now? Let's see. Give it to her behind Sharon. And she took a book out. So, it's one. So, you're going to read number 6 on page 15.
What should I do if I beg for forgiveness but the offended devotee does not forgive me?
Yes, if you go to somebody, please forgive me, you're aware I offended you, I feel really, fallen and bad about it, please forgive me. So that the devotee turns on and tells you, what's your name?
Hedvi.
Hedvi, I've been waiting for 3 years for this. You came too late. So I will never forgive you in this lifetime. May you eternally dwell in Patalalok, which is the hellish land. So Hedvi, then you get devastated, right? So what will you do? Will you go like Gangamai Ki Jai? You know what that means? Will you take your life? There's no reason to live. You won't do that, right? Yes. So, what precept will you take now? Because the devotee didn't really forgive you. They're so hurt. So what should you do?
Just give him some time.
It's in the list, right? So, how many ways you have? 16 ways to go and do that, so that eventually the devotee forgives you. So write it down, refer to previous list. That's number 6. So give the microphone to Michael here. Michael? I know you have to ask the question now, but not now. Michael, read.
Forgive. A sadhu sadhvi is very merciful. His or her heart will soften, and he or she will forgive the offender, thus exonerating him or her from the offenses.
Now, we are reversing the role. In the previous role up to Hedvi's question, you have offended somebody and you are went to beg for forgiveness. Now the role is reversed. Somebody is coming to you to beg for forgiveness. Now read. You're still on page 15. Okay?
Yes.
So number 7 we just read, now number 8a.
Yes.
Read.
What should I do if a devotee approaches me to beg for forgiveness?
What would you do in one word? Michael?
I would acknowledge the request and forgive him.
One word. What's the one word?
Forgive.
Forgive, yes. It's quite easy, eh?
Yes.
Just forgive. But you cannot forget. Who didn't speak at all from yesterday, today? Raise your hand. Yes, give him the microphone with that darkish grey hat. What's your name?
I'm Francis. Francis Gage.
Francis.
Fancy?
Francis.
Francis.
Yes.
Oh, it's out of the Bible. Yes. Now, you came yesterday too.
Yes.
Yes. Now, there's a second line there. Why should I forgive? Say it.
Why should I forgive?
Tell us, why should you forgive?
To let bygones be bygones. To let bygones be bygones.
Bygones be bygones. Okay. What does it mean?
Like both of you need closure. You both need to move on with your lives.
Yes, you have to close this chapter of feeling hurt and forgive the person and move on positively in your life. That is why you are going to forgive, right?
Yes.
Good. Now anyone else, you can volunteer, raise your hand. What other reasons are there that one should forgive? Microphone here, you have.
Because if you were in the same situation, you'd also expect for someone to forgive you. So you should also forgive.
Perfect. If you forgive somebody, then when you go to beg forgiveness, you'll also be forgiven. Perfect. That's a nice reason. Write it down. The first one, according to Francis, is that let's move positively forward. Close the chapter of feeling hurt and move forward. The second one is that if you forgive somebody, and then when you approach somebody for forgiveness, you'll also be easily forgiven. Yes. What's another reason that one should forgive? Microphone, any microphone? Yeah, yeah, sure.
It's more work to hold a grudge.
It's more?
Work. It's a lot of energy to hold a grudge.
So you are saying the reason why you will forgive is to become free from keeping grudges. Perfect. Write it down. Nice. Coming top.
To free the offender from the reaction of the other brother.
Oh, you're such a great person that you want to free somebody from the reaction. Now say it in another way. To bring what? To bring joy to the person that feels they offended you. To bring happiness to them. To bring relief to them. And they'll say, now why did I keep this for so long? I should have went and begged forgiveness long ago. Now it's over. They feel joy. Great happiness. So it's so wonderful to bring joy and happiness to others, to relieve them from this suffering situation of feeling that they have offended you. Nice. Several nice reasons. Where's the microphone? Pass it back to Cynthia. Cynthia, read.
The devotee approaches
been so deeply hurt that I cannot forgive the offender. What should I do?
Yes. It's not easy to forgive, but eventually one has to. Cynthia, what should you do?
To pray to Krishna to soften your heart.
Good. Is it on the list? Yes, write down, refer to the previous list of 16 ways. One or more of those ways. The list came from you, and it's a perfect list. But eventually you must forgive. It may take some time for you, but you must forgive. So moving along, there's some nice purports and some verses from Srila Prabhupada and his translation. It is said that forgiveness is a quality of those who are advancing in spiritual knowledge. In other words, if you don't forgive, but eventually if you do, it's good. Maybe initially you may not feel it because you're feeling too hurt yet. But still if you do, you'll advance in spiritual knowledge. In other words, you'll get more realization on the spiritual platform if you forgive. Next, this is from the teachings of Bhishma. To get freedom from anger, one should learn how to forgive. So that means you will maintain a negative, angry spirit, because you can become positively angry also for the benefit of others, not for your self-gratification. But to get freedom from anger, which you are keeping, which you're maintaining, which is not a good thing, then one should. So what's the word after that? One should. What's the word? Learn how to forgive. So learning indicates that you're not ready to forgive inside, but do it anyway. But do it anyway. And as you do it, even if it's a little external, then it will become internally situated the more you forgive, and the more you'll be free from the tendency of maintaining that enemy that you are attached to, called anger, inside yourself. Release the anger by forgiving. Next, the duty of a Brahmana is to culture the quality of forgiveness, which is illuminating like the sun. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, a little bit more, beyond being a Brahmana, is to be a devotee or a Vaishnava. So, if you forgive somebody, then Krishna is pleased. And if you don't forgive someone, then Krishna is not pleased. And you won't be able to chant your japa properly. Next, Shama, tolerance and forgiveness, should be practiced. In other words, if you don't feel like doing it, you should practice that eventually you feel like doing it. One should be tolerant and excuse the minor offenses of others. In other words, if it's a small thing, you can tell, hey, it's not a big thing, it's okay, It's not really offensive, so small things. Next, it is said that the beauty of a tapasvi, or saintly person, is forgiveness. That is his jewel, or her jewel. And one can easily forgive, and one can immediately realize that one is offended and beg for forgiveness, both ways. And let's see Srila Prabhupada's, not example or not a role model. Srila Prabhupada means what he did. It is not to set an example for us. I'm reading. When Srila Prabhupada began asking his God brothers to forgive him, they protested. You are the eternal leader, one of them asserted. You rule over us, guide us, and chastise us. Forgive all my offenses. Prabhupada repeated. I became proud of all my opulence. No, said Puri Maharaj. You never became proud. When you started preaching, opulence and success followed you. That was the blessing of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Krishna. There cannot be any question of your being offensive. When Srila Prabhupada presented himself as Mahapatita, greatly fallen, Puri Maharaj did not accept it. You have saved millions of people around the world, he said. Therefore there's no question of offenses, but you should be called Mahapatita Bhavana, the great savior of the fallen. Srila Prabhupada ki. We continue. Prabhupada's disciples regarded Prabhupada's asking for his Godmother's forgiveness as a manifestation of his humility. We are now on page number 16, yes. Prabhupada's disciples regarded Prabhupada's asking for his Godmother's forgiveness as a manifestation of his humility. But they were also puzzled. Certainly Prabhupada's Godmothers were sincere in saying Prabhupada had committed no offense. Whatever he had done for Krishna. But Srila Prabhupada was also sincere in asking for forgiveness. That was the beautiful gem of his humility, to ask for forgiveness. For the purpose of preaching, displaying this gem had not always been the most effective way to spread the merciful teachings of Lord Krishna in every town and village. But now it could be displayed. This attitude of complete humility was a symptom of the highest stage of devotional life. Prabhupada's disciples had all read of the Mahabhagavat stage in the scriptures, and now they were seeing it fully displayed as Prabhupada referred to himself as the most fallen and asked for everyone's forgiveness. If it's good enough for Srila Prabhupada to do this, is it good enough for us? Most certainly. So now, as soon as is practical, I shall approach at least 3 devotees that I have offended and beg for forgiveness. Of course, if you cannot do that immediately, you can do 16 ways of 3 steps that you can prepare yourself to do eventually. Okay? Now you have some space there in your book. We're on page number 16. In that space, don't peep into each other's book. Write down 3 names or 4 or 5 or more. At least 3 names for now that you feel that you have to approach those devotees to beg for forgiveness. Now if you don't write the name fully, that's fine. You can write it in coded form so nobody knows who the name is. Right now, don't say, Maharaj, everyone offends me. I don't offend anyone. I cannot think of even one name now. What should I do? That means you're not really yet in the beginning stages of Krishna consciousness. Write the names down. Have you written minimum 3 names? 4 would be nice, 5 also, but at least 3 names for a start, a beginning in the proper direction. Share again. We okay? Alright. Now, if you think this is difficult, give the microphone to Carol or Caroline. Where's the microphone? This is easy compared to this. Okay, Caroline, read. We're still on page 16. We are number 12B. Caroline, that's why it's optional. But don't do it optional. It's not difficult. Go.
Accompanied by an experienced, mature senior devotee, I shall then approach the devotees that have offended or hurt me the most and say, I felt you deeply offended and hurt me. Please forgive me for feeling this way.
Is it sinking in? I read once more.
Alright. Accompanied by an experienced, mature senior devotee, I shall then approach the devotee or devotees that have offended or hurt me the most and say, I felt you deeply offended and hurt me. Please forgive me for feeling this way.
You won't exactly get it like this clearly spelled out for you in the scriptures, but it is there. I just made it easier for you on a practical basis from my own practical experience in Krishna consciousness for the last 40 years. If you want to experience bliss and ecstasy in Krishna consciousness, although this is optional, do it. But you can only get the potency to do this if you do the first one, which is easier. To go and beg for forgiveness that you are offended, right? That's easy. The more you do that, the more you can come to this optional situation. Ever heard of such a thing in your life? Because this is beyond the Bible, it's beyond the Quran, it's beyond the Torah. It is embedded in spiritual life. Within so many examples in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now let's look at this more carefully. If you can do this more completely in your life, that becomes easy. The more you beg for forgiveness from persons you're offended, then this option becomes easy. So let's look at it a little bit more. Give the microphone to Bhakti Lata behind you. And Bhakti Lata gives it to the person next to her. Tell us your name again. I didn't get your name ready when I came home also.
Hemali.
Hemali. Hemali. Hemali. Okay. So Hemali, who is feeling hurt here? The person who hurt you or you? In this optional exercise.
Me.
Yes. So the person who hurt you is not feeling hurt. Right? But you are carrying that hurtful feeling. So what should you do? Should you wait for the devotee to come and beg forgiveness from you? No, because the devotee may never come. But you have to remove the hurtful feeling. A devotee who hurt you cannot do it for you. You have to do it. So the first initial realization one should have is that, okay, I feel hurt by this person. This person is not coming to beg forgiveness. Okay, that's fine. You should accept the other person is not going to do it. That's the first realization. The second realization you will get after that is that, am I really feeling hurt? Or my body is feeling hurt? Both gross and subtle, including the false ego. But then somebody may say, but Maharaj, you don't really understand how I've been abused. You don't really understand how I've been exploited. That is true. That is unique for every individual. And they feel that they have been more abused and exploited than other people who have been abused and exploited. Everyone feels uniquely, individually, their own same way. That is true. You cannot compare that. However, it is a great suffering condition to live your life in a hurt-felt way. Because nobody can hurt your real ego, but they can hurt your false ego. Move on. You're not going to have this body eternally, both gross and subtle. You're not going to live in the sense of this false ego, both gross and subtle. It's just a few short years in this one life. However, I said, you have to be accompanied by an experienced, mature, senior devotee and go to that person. Because that other devotee who hurt you will know, oh, I have to be careful. Because you may be exploited and abused and hurt again. But this devotee has support. I can't do it. So when one does this exercise like this, it will take a while to actually try to do it. Then, this is called the principle of humility breeds humility. What's the principle? Humility breeds. Humility gives birth to humility. And that birth of humility gives further birth to honor. Humility breeds humility. It's a nice thing. And the other person will be helped like that in the process. They will probably eventually beg forgiveness from you. And then you can close the chapter. Please don't carry this. It is very dramatic to continue to carry it. Not good at all. You want to go back to Goloka Vrindavan. You have to clear all these things before you go back. This is not in the category of keeping a grudge. That's a little different. That's not good. To keep a grudge. Keeping a grudge means one becomes like an ill-wisher, not a well-wisher. But this is not in that category. This is a little different. A little different. Now, you may remember that I had mentioned in the earlier classes, even from yesterday, when people ask a lot of questions about chanting japa and holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. There is some reason why we have to beg forgiveness and be forgiven. And there is some reason to forgive others. And there is some reason to go and beg forgiveness when you feel hurt, although you're not supposed to go and beg forgiveness. Like this. This is unique. Now, the reasons we may have given here, if you remember, why should I forgive? We give various reasons, right? Bring joy to the other person, relieve them of their suffering. And you will be forgiven when you beg forgiveness if you forgive others. Came from Riyaj. Like that. See? So we have various reasons. But now I don't want you to respond to me by giving me these reasons. I want another reason where you are ready to beg for forgiveness and why you are doing it. I want the eternal reason, the eternal result of why you're doing this and why you may do this as an option. Anyone? Yes, Prabhu. Put your hand up in the back. You have a red stripe on your jacket. What's your name again? Basil. Benson was sitting there yesterday, right? Benson, you were there?
Yes.
And did you go to Paris recently?
In my dream.
It's such a situation where we just want to imitate and glorify the Western world. If you go to Paris, nobody will have a jacket in Nairobi. Because for them it's low class. Right, Benson?
Maybe.
If you go to New York, nobody will have a t-shirt that says Delhi or Mumbai. But you go to Mumbai and Delhi, you'll see they have t-shirts that says New York. It's influence, Western influence, a degrading influence. That's just a side talk. Now the real talk comes. What was the question?
So you asked the main or the ultimate reason why we should seek for forgiveness.
Yes.
Because we want to advance in spiritual life.
Go closer.
Since we want to advance in spiritual life and...
yes, that's a general answer to advance. But what is the result specifically of advancing in spiritual life? One of which is to beg for forgiveness. What is that specific result?
So that you can attain love for Krishna.
And after you attain love for Krishna, what's next?
Be able to attain his abode.
Attain?
His abode. Attain his
abode.
Yeah.
Yes. But we are not there yet. We are on this plane to go there. So what is the result of this plane to go to Guru?
Chanting.
Great. What is it?
Chanting.
Chanting. Now when you beg for forgiveness, how does your chanting improve?
We become more...
Let me do that again with your hand. No. Now do it higher. That's better. I thought Redfi is giving me blessing. Maharaj. Give the microphone to Redfi. You did so well. You brought us to the goal. Chanting. Give it to Redfi. So Redfi, how can we improve our chanting? By begging forgiveness. Hold the microphone close.
After you ask forgiveness or given forgiveness, your heart will be in peace. Like
in peace. Nice. And when you're peaceful, can you chant better?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes.
So what's that better chanting when you're peaceful?
Attempt chanting?
Yes, when you chant Hare Krishna, then you will Hare Krishna, it will move to the yes. Then you can hear your chanting. So Benson nicely gave us the foundation, chanting. She improved and built up. You can hear your chanting. Now can you imagine that if you're feeling hurt still and you're chanting, when you're chanting, you're not hearing your chanting, but you're remembering the person who hurt you. Yes or no? Yes. Not nice. You're not attentive. And can you imagine that you didn't beg for forgiveness and it's haunting you like a ghost? Oh, I have to forgive, I have to forgive, I have to beg for forgiveness, I have to forgive, beg for forgiveness, and forgive, beg for. When you're chanting, that will influence you not to hear the Maha Mantra. So the result of all of these exercises from session 1 right up to now, session number 5, is only for one purpose. Here we are. It's in your notes. On page 16. And I'm reading on the screen. One who thinks himself lowered in the grass. Who is more tolerant than a tree. Who does not expect any personal honor, but is always prepared to give all respect to others. Can. What's the next words? Everyone loudly. Very easily always chant the holy name of the Lord. Very easily always chant. So one has to clear the way, your own way by your own self, that when you just chant, Radha and Krishna will enter your ears and into your heart. Very easily by your hearing your Hare Krishna Maha Mantra Japa. And that's the most blissful experience in Krishna consciousness. There's nothing more blissful than that. Everything else in this material world becomes pale, stale, dry, and insignificant. And in that state of consciousness, nobody can touch you. Because it's too internal and it's too confidential. They wouldn't even know how you feel. That is why one has to do this. Now enough of the explanation and the education and learning on this. Let's go back to those 3 names that you have written. We okay? They may not be here with you, but Maharaj, I wrote this name, but that person has left their body. What should I do? I don't know where they are. Maybe they're in Goloka Vrindavan, maybe in another part of this universe. How can I beg forgiveness for someone who's no more with us? Anyone? What should you do? Maharaj, my father passed on. I didn't speak to him for 10 years before he passed on. Now I'm feeling bad, I should have. How can I beg for his forgiveness? Understand? It's not necessarily for devotees, it's for everyone. It's a softening of the heart. It's what you do. Oh, Vinod, again. Come on, microphone.
Print the picture and pray to them.
Yes, wonderful. You have a photo and you beg forgiveness from the photo. They will connect. That will connect. But even more than that, what you did?
Forgive yourself.
Somebody was murmuring, some speaking to themselves. No, someone in the back. Or was it here? Or was it you, John?
It was me.
It was you. Okay, tell us.
I think you can start by forgiving yourself.
That you can never do. That's a mind, that's an illusion. Thinking, oh, I forget myself is over. It's not that simple. What you did, that's a good one. I'm glad you brought it up. And we cleared it now. Because forgiveness is between two persons. Two persons, not on your own. Edvi is behind you. She wants to say something. She already has the mic. Yes, tell us.
Chant for them.
You chant for yourself. Why you chant for them? You need it. That's a precept. That is it. They're not there to beg forgiveness. What can you do? One is pray to a photo of them. That's nice. Another one?
I'm not sure, but maybe ask forgiveness to the person nearest to them.
Yes, serve those who are near and dear to the person who's there. Serve them. Because there's a spiritual energy that will connect beyond your comprehension and understanding. Or you can even do it nicer. Would those who are near and dear to the person who has departed have a memorial program? You organize it, you sponsor it, and say, I'm doing this, and declare it to all those who attend. Look, I want this person to forgive me. Actually, he or she was really a nice person, but I misunderstood, and I didn't have a chance to beg forgiveness. Nice. Forgiveness is the language of the heart, which is the simplicity of the heart. And that simplicity is so refined that you cannot measure it. It can penetrate any atmosphere, both gross, physical, metaphysical, subtle, or whatever. Because forgiveness is a spiritual activity. It is beyond anything. It will touch the heart of that soul, wherever the soul may be. So forgiveness is one of the simplicity of the language of the heart. It's too refined. You cannot measure it. So much pray for forgiveness. What's the time now?
5:35.
5:35. So I'll give you 25 minutes. You have to strike while the iron is hot. It will be effective. While the consciousness is right now, good. So as you leave this room, the mind, which is a form of Maya, in its influence, will tell you, don't worry what Maharaj said. You didn't really offend the person, don't beg forgiveness. And the mind will say, you're a great person. The other person you offended, he did more sin than you. Why should you go anyway? You understand? So many reasons will come. So many reasons will come. Don't listen to the influence of the mad, crazy naughty mind. You be as you are, as the spirit soul, and do this. I'm begging you, do it. You'll be the most, like Hedwig said, you'll be the most peaceful person internally. And only from the foundation of peace you can build positively in spiritual life. This fly is naughty. It's coming your way now. Okay? Now you have about 20 minutes. You can put yourself. Do it. Now, even one person. If you cannot really beg forgiveness, do a praise step. Go to your friend. I have a friend, this person. Please help me with that. Start. To start something takes long, but once you start it, it's quick. You know this. To begin something takes long, but once you begin it, it's quick. 20 minutes. You have my best wishes and my blessings. Please move along with this. Now. You can leave the room, or you can talk to somebody, or make a phone call. But you have 20 minutes. It's not your break, it's part of the course. We started only for lunch, for 45 minutes. Now we've taken it to almost an hour and a half, and we are still continuing with this particular session or lesson. All right. If you really want to become serious in Krishna consciousness, this is what one needs to do. There's a word in the 26 qualities called grave. Grave means there's a gravity to Krishna consciousness. Gravity means you have to be serious about it. Now, is there anyone amongst you who would like to share not who you offended by name and not the details of what happened, but you just share with us if you did send a text message or if you personally approached the person in these last 20 minutes and what happened, in the sense of how do you feel by doing that. There'll be different responses from different persons. For some persons you may have to take the time and give it the time it needs. That means you may have sent a text message and then now you're wondering every minute you're looking whether there's a response. Don't wait for the response. It will come when the response is necessary to come. Don't be in anxiety. So, generally similar hands go up to respond to my questions and requests. So, is there some person who didn't speak who would like to share with us first? Both of you spoke before. Michael is eager to speak. He had his hand up first. Yes or no?
Yes.
Give him the microphone. So now I'm going to give him give boundaries along the way so one can keep confidentiality and respect the other person in their absence, the one you offended. So speak and then we will guide you.
So mine goes back to an incident that happened maybe a year ago. So it's been, when that incident happened, we were abusive to each other, and we ended up offending each other, and we broke off communication.
See, when you say we ended up offending each other, that means the other person is also at fault.
Okay, so I offended...
Correct yourself.
Yes, I offended someone over a year ago. And
Are you understanding how to explain now? You have to purify yourself. You change. Don't change the other person.
Yes. I offended someone over a
Hold
year
it
ago.
closer, hold it closer.
I offended someone over a year ago, and it ended up breaking our communication, and we haven't spoken since then. And that issue, where I was abusive to them, it made me feel bad. And
That's good to feel bad. It's positive. Yes, go ahead.
And for a long time I was afraid to confront them and request for forgiveness. But I just decided to put airtime on my phone and give them a call.
And speak to them in voice.
In voice directly. I was like, I'm not going to send a text that I want to just talk to them. If they reject me, it's okay.
And you did.
Yes, I
They
did.
answered the call.
Yes.
Come to the front. Speak to them now. What happened?
So, to my surprise, she received my call, and I went ahead to explain that I know it's been a long time, and I wanted to know how she's doing, and that I'd like to request to ask for forgiveness for my past behavior and hurting her and my family. And she responded happy, and she said she never expected that I would request.
Yes. Boundaries here.
Yes. Okay. Yes, you're right.
We have the essence of what happened, right? He could have done this long time ago. He kept it for a year, and eventually did it today. And the response was also very favorable from the other person. How does that make you feel in your heart now?
A lot later.
Huh?
A lot later.
Thank you very much. Sit down. Anyone else likes to share? Come to the front. Babu with the hat. Come quickly. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Will you face me? Oh, eat and what's that? He has no idea what's on that t-shirt.
Hare Krishna, Maharaja.
Hare Krishna. What's your name?
My name is Oscar.
Oscar, face everyone. Okay. You want to share that you, what did you do? They made a phone call, they sent a text message or what?
Yeah, in my case I made a phone call, I had a phone call.
And go ahead.
Yeah, it happened yesterday.
Hey, don't give names.
Yeah.
Don't give
names. Yeah. Names. Yeah, yesterday after the class, yesterday I made we were in a deal with my colleague yesterday, and I did cut the deal, and after I cut the deal and it was successful, so I lied to my colleague that the deal gave me 10. No, the deal gave me 7, and the deal had given me 10. So when I went back to the colleague, I told him it's 7, and now we have to share. And afterwards, after the class, after 9 p.m., I could feel my heart is so heavy, and I would feel I have not done the right thing. So I made a call to the person.
Now?
No. Yesterday at 9 p.m. before Prashadam. So I called, and the guy received the call. I told him I'm sorry because the deal gave me 10, and I told you it has given me 7. So I'm gonna share the rest 3 with you. So the guy was so happy, and I felt like a weight has been lifted off me, and I was even able to chant Hare Krishna after that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. I wanted to say something similar to what Oscar shared, which I heard some time back. And I'm in connection with a big businessman who was highly successful. Something happened to the seat. Okay? And he is based in Dubai. I haven't been to Dubai in my life except passing through the airport or something. So he shared with me, he is a devotee, he shared with me that he won't do any business that makes people lose money and he gains money. That's his principle. It's quite interesting. Business means somebody will lose and somebody will gain. He said, no, if I gain, others must also gain. And that's his principle. And he's so happy. He's so happy and content with himself. So I thought I'll just share that, what you said. But what I'm asking more specifically, of this last 20 minutes or 25 or 30 minutes ago, you did something, I need you to share that, like how Michael shared. Anyone volunteer? Yes, microphone. Come to the front.
Hare Krishna.
So we have 2 persons who shared. One, we can take the wisdom of feeling lighter from Michael, and from Oscar, we can take the wisdom that I could chant better after I did that. Nice. Yes.
So the first thing is that I had a hard time
Come away from the speaker. Stand on the side. You're near the speaker. Come on. Yeah, now face everyone.
The first thing was that I had a hard time finding the person who I should apologize to first. I feel like, or I know I have offended quite a number of people, but somehow I believe maybe Krishna sent me to the most optimal, or I don't know, template circumstance that organized itself. But I found this devotee, and I approached him and I told him, can you please give me 2 minutes? Okay, I lied.
That happened in the last 35 minutes?
Yes.
Now?
Yes.
Good. Go ahead. Don't give names, just give the principle and move on.
Yeah. So I first of all expressed why I wanted to have a conversation. I told him that I have repeatedly committed offenses, and it doesn't, and I've apologized severally as well. And this may not sound as a new thing that I'm actually apologizing, but this time I'd like to...
Don't use the word apologizing. That's mild. What's the word? Begging.
Begging for forgiveness, yes. And I told him this time I'd like to try and take a much lower position and a much more sincere position, and actually express the fact that I am dearly sorry. Many times I do these actions that have offended you, thinking that they're the best actions according to how I know. This is how things are supposed to be. This is how I've seen things happening, and this is how everyone is doing it. It seems to be successful, but I'm doing them around you and around the devotees who have experienced whatever you've experienced as well, the hurt that I'm causing you. And I'd like to try and take a student position and actually learn a better way I can approach these situations that we have, these interactions that we've had.
Okay. So did you beg for forgiveness?
Yes.
Now, did the person forgive you?
So he told me, no, the problem is that you've asked for forgiveness so many times and you keep offending us. So you need to give me some time.
Good. This is a nice one. That you may beg forgiveness, but then you offend the person again. And you beg forgiveness, you offend the person again. It goes on like that. See? So there's a pattern. And then he's going to get some time, right?
Yes.
So that from the time that he is considering to forgive you till the time, will you offend him during that period?
No.
You better not. Now, how did you feel internally by doing that?
I felt that at least now we can cross each other on the corridor and not feel this,
some negative energy. That's clear. That's a positive thing. Yes. Can you imagine that, if you're living in the same community, what to speak of the same home, see, and you don't speak to each other? How can you live like that? You can't live like that because it's the material world. Because that's what the material world is all about. Impersonalism. But get over it. Make it a real home, not just a house with walls and roof. Good. So now you don't feel any negative vibrations when you walk past him. You won't feel that, right?
So.
And that's the plus factor. Thank you very much. Let's take another person who would like to share. All right. Now, it is also important either way you stand up. What's your name? Daya, you're back. We asked for you earlier, we missed you. But
I was here.
you was here. What time you were here?
Some water.
You was here in the morning, there?
Yeah.
And you were throughout the day with us?
Yeah.
So who's that person wants to speak? You said there. Which one? The little. Okay. Nadaya, can you come to the front of the microphone? Of course, you have the microphone. See, he has lots to do. Come to me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, consciousness.
Yeah.
So just chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra once for us loudly.
Oh, yeah. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Loudly.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Everyone.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you very much for that, Daya. Now, did you do any attempts or efforts in trying to beg forgiveness of someone in the last 20 or in the last 30, 40 minutes?
I tried to think of someone who I have hurt, but I tried to think.
So you didn't hurt anyone in your life?
I feel I have because...
You feel you have?
Yeah, we have ended the semester.
Huh?
We have ended the semester, but something inside me tells me like, ukichungulia nyuma.
If you look backwards, he said, if you look backwards, if you reflect.
Yes.
I feel as if I've done something for someone.
Yeah, just face everyone.
So I think
Now, if you have done something bad to someone, you know that someone? Not the bucket. you know that person, right? The name of the person.
Yeah.
But don't tell us the name.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So you feel you need to beg forgiveness from that person?
Yeah.
When?
I think next week.
Why not tonight or tomorrow sometime? Why next week?
Oh, because next week I'll like see them physically.
You'll feel?
I'll see them physically. I want to do it physically, like one-on-one.
In person to person. But I would suggest either today or tomorrow, connect with them on the phone or send a text message. Start it. Then it will be easier for you to meet them in person. Is that all right?
It's okay.
And how many other persons you felt you offended? Just one?
I only managed to write one, but I'm sure that I've offended many people. So in the night, I'll write them down.
But don't lose your book. Somebody will see what you wrote. And they'll come to you. Why my name is not there? You also offended me. There. Thank you for your transcendental entertainment. Give the microphone to this nice devotee that you said he wants to speak. Come. What's his name again? Something N2. N2. And then N2.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I'm not mentioned the gender.
You are not mentioned what? The? So say it.
It happened on the course of the week. So
Hare Krishna. Oh.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, hold the microphone to the mouth and put your hand here. Yeah. Further down, yeah. Now hold it, yeah. Bring it close to your mouth.
Hare Krishna.
Very good. Thank
So
you.
the incident happened on the course of the week. So I was doing this. I had an issue. So I had to face up with a senior guy than me, who is mentally stable, unlike me. So I told this guy, this person, to take me to the person so that I can speak. So
Hold it close and don't forget.
English.
To hear you more clearly.
English in anybody, and I just both languages. He says the English is a problem.
Okay, what language do you like to speak and ask him?
Mixture. He says mixture.
No, what language is comfortable in?
Independent language.
So you speak Swahili, you translate for me. Speak in Swahili.
So it happened this week. So many come on the devotee. Come on the senior devotee circumstance. And so he said the occurrence happened this previous week, and he decided that he would go to a senior devotee to help him with the situation.
Good, that's a pre-step, nice.
He told this senior devotee to take him to the pastor. Not a senior devotee, a friend of mine.
Okay, I get it. He offended a senior person.
No, I offended a friend.
A friend?
I offended this friend that was to take me to the senior devotee.
Oh.
Yes, I had a personal issue and I had to talk to a senior devotee.
Yes, but you offended the friend who was meant to take you there.
Yes.
Then what happened?
So after we reached there, after talking to the senior devotee, now I started saying the story of my friend to the devotee.
That means you offended him.
He told me, aliniambia personally, you have offended me.
Yes. So how are you going to beg forgiveness?
Approach there. He has approached him today.
And that friend?
Yes.
And then what happened?
I beg for your forgiveness.
Translate.
He told them, I'm sorry, I beg for your forgiveness.
And then, what happened?
The person told me, I already forgiven you. I had already forgiven you.
Wow. But now you know, right?
Yes.
And how do you feel that the person has already forgiven you before you even went to beg for forgiveness? How do you feel inside now?
I'm still feeling nervous.
Still feeling nervous in a good way?
Yeah, nervous in a good way.
Yeah. When you beg forgiveness and somebody forgives you, you may still feel a little bit nervous internally. That means nervousness indicates that you have to be more careful. You know, when you're nervous, you want to be more careful. That's nervousness. It's not a bad thing. To be nervous means, I have to be more careful. That's good. Thank you. Let's chant for him.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So we heard from several of the devotees who are male-bodied. Is any of the female-bodied devotees like to share? All right, that's fine. Okay, microphone. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So
person?
Yes, in person.
Here?
Yeah.
Good.
And then on my way here, I met another devotee.
And you beg forgiveness?
Yeah.
So that's two?
Yeah, two.
Oh, you're pretty quick, pretty fast. You pretty realize that it's important to do it as soon as possible. Great.
But the devotee apologized first. And then I also begged for forgiveness from them.
So humility breeds humility. If you beg for forgiveness, the devotee starts apologizing also, which is fine. What happened after that? That's it.
Yeah.
So then how did you feel after this, experiencing these two devotees in the last almost an hour ago?
I feel like I can be in the temple peacefully.
Good. Peaceful internally. It's a big plus. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare.
So, Yanshin, you had a question, right? You had a question earlier on.
My question was...
Hold it close to it.
No, yeah.
Hold it as if you're eating paneer.
My question was, should you also beg for forgiveness if you have offended a non-devotee?
That question has been answered by Oscar. That other person, did you really, is he a devotee, Oscar? No. Yes. But we have to be careful when we are begging forgiveness from those who are not devotees. And the caution or the cautiousness that one should know about and embrace is that a non-devotee may abuse you more when you beg forgiveness from them. See? Because they're not used to such a life of forgiving others and begging forgiveness. They don't know that much from the spiritual platform. So if you beg forgiveness from a non-devotee, that non-devotee may take advantage. Oh, he is weak. I can exploit him again. Getting it? So it's good to beg forgiveness from anyone, including those who are not devotees yet. But with those who are not devotees yet, or we can call non-devotees for the sake of communication and discussion now, you should approach that non-devotee with adult supervision. With adult, like one of your family members. Or even if you're an adult, when you're approaching a non-devotee, go with a support system of other devotees with you. Then the non-devotee will feel, oh, this person has a support system. They're begging forgiveness from me, although they are devotees, but I can't exploit and abuse them again. Because they may take advantage. Usually in the material world, it's very hard for those who are not spiritual to beg for forgiveness. And if somebody begs forgiveness from them, they feel proud. They feel, yes, now I have the upper hand. Now I have the upper hand. And I can do what I want with you. So you be careful for that. Is that all right? Thank you. Now, we'll leave questions in general anyone has. Remember, on this particular session or lesson of humility and forgiveness, we took most of the day. Practically almost 2.5 hours just on this. Microphone to the back.
We also have devotees from other religions. Like Islam, like Ramzan is going on, and they have fasting for 1 month. Other religion devotees. So
offense by mistakenly or unknowingly. So how do we behave with them?
You see, unknowingly to all of us who are involved and who practice in Krishna consciousness, most people know that our principles to follow is a bit more different from what they normally do. Different in the sense that it sets us apart from their perspective. Because we are vegetarians, according to them, we also, in one sense, have a personal God who we know. His telephone numbers, his address, his qualities, his pastimes, So they know that. Yeah. So they respect us for that, because we have more information about the Supreme Lord and our relationship with the Lord than they do. We good? But we'll come to answer your question in a future lesson.
Okay.
Right? But I'll just read it now, just to respond to you. Is that all right?
Yes.
Which is actually the next lesson, page 17. It says B. A devotee's attitude towards others' methods of religion. That is your question, right? I'm reading. We should not criticize others' methods of religion. Prabhupada said, straight away, first sentence. There are different types of religious systems operating under different qualities of material nature. In other words, we can't criticize them. Oh, your religion is the mode of ignorance, my religion is the mode of goodness. You cannot say that either. But we have to understand. Those operating in the modes of ignorance and passion cannot be as perfect as that system in the mode of goodness. In Bhagavad Gita, everything has been divided into 3 qualitative divisions. Therefore, religious systems are similarly categorized. When people are mostly under the modes of passion and ignorance, the system of religion will be of the same quality. A devotee, instead of criticizing such systems, will encourage the followers to stick to their principles so that gradually they come to the platform of religion in goodness. Simply by criticizing them, a devotee's mind will be agitated. Thus a devotee should tolerate and learn to stop agitation. So what does this effectively mean? Prabhupada is telling us that if somebody is a Christian, so you encourage that a devotee in that Christian tradition to try to follow the teachings of the Bible more. Like become a better practitioner in your religion. You follow the Quran, so follow the Quran more. Follow the Torah more. Like that as a Jew. So that's all you need to do. Don't criticize.
Okay. And what if they ask for help? You are saying it is mentioned here that we encourage them, that means if they ask for help for the religious way, we support.
If they ask for help, if it's within your means to help them to bring them closer to Krishna, then it's a precept to bring them closer to Krishna. Like one time I was in Washington, D.C., in America, the capital. So one of the devotees was invited to an interfaith gathering which was in a mosque. Because there was some ill feeling against Muslims after the Twin Towers went down. And I happened to be there. I was a brahmachari there. So that devotee said, look, I can't really deal with this because, I feel uncomfortable. Can you go? So I went. He accompanied me, so I went. So when I went, then they asked me questions, and I quoted from the Quran, and I quoted from the Bible, and I quoted from the Torah, and I quoted from the Bhagavad Gita, because that was one of my theses after my master's for my PhD. See? It was part of my thesis, which means a dissertation as an ancillary subject, which is comparative religion. So he knew that. So it was right within me to speak about it. So in the end, when I asked for questions, because you allowed some time, about 10 minutes for questions, somebody asked me, aren't you a Hare Krishna? Because I'm dressed up in Tila. I said, I'm not a Hare Krishna, because the word Hare Krishna means, our Father, hallowed be thy name. He said, well, wait a minute. But are you a Hare Krishna? I said, no, I'm not the Supreme Lord who's meant to be glorified. He said, well, what do you mean? Aren't you a Hare Krishna? I said, no, I'm not a Hare Krishna. I'm a person who glorifies the Supreme Lord. And to glorify the Supreme Lord, we say Hare Krishna. And in all the scriptures of the world, it tells you you should glorify God, or glorify God by chanting His names. And the person corrected himself. He said, you mean you're not a Hare Krishna, but Hare Krishna means to glorify God by chanting His names? I said, perfect. So the connotation and the consciousness of his question is asking me, is challenging me, but aren't you a Hare Krishna? Or are you speaking about the Bible, the Quran, and the Torah? That was his connotation, and I picked that up. And he felt defeated, but nobody else felt defeated in the audience who did, but he didn't know that I knew he felt defeated. See? But it was defeated in a positive way. So now he understood that when you say, oh, he's a Hare Krishna, everyone says that. That's like not who I am. I am a person who chants Hare Krishna, which means glorifying God. That was nice, and he went there. So I'm just giving you an indication how to respond to these people. So you can do a 3-step where you can put your one foot into the mosque to give them transcendental knowledge of the Absolute. But you have to be prepared to do that in the proper spirit. Okay? Now coming back to begging forgiveness. Any questions? Microphone.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Your name again?
Andrew.
Andrew. Okay.
So sometimes you might trust someone who you are not close with and you lost that connection. Then later on you come identify that I did something wrong for that person, but that time did not realize. So at that time, can you just pray to God and pray for forgiveness, or how can you, because you cannot connect with Him at the time?
Can you repeat what he said? Without the microphone. You may have offended a person that you have a close relationship with. The word close proximity is measuring a distance. I'm talking about, were you close to the person in terms of faith and relationship?
No, you're not at that, but you did something wrong to him.
You did something wrong to a person who knows you, or they don't know you?
They don't know you very well.
They don't know you very well, but they know you somewhat, right? So you offended that person. And then?
You cannot find him. Maybe
you cannot find the person. Yeah. But do you know somebody who knows that person?
Sometimes.
Do you know someone else who knows that person you cannot find? Do you know?
You don't know.
You know that person.
Okay, like maybe you can get into a fight with a stranger
and he's gone.
And he's gone.
Yeah.
You know, you
So
started-
he's asking a nice question. That sometimes you may have offended someone maybe once, and the person is no more in your life and you cannot find them to go and beg for forgiveness. Is that what you're saying? Yes. Then you go to Krishna and you pray to Krishna that in your heart, that you're trying to beg forgiveness of that person, because Krishna is in everyone's heart. See? That's all you do. You cannot beg forgiveness from somebody whom you don't know and you don't know where they are. So you do the practical thing, you pray to Krishna to beg forgiveness from that person. Is that okay? But if you do again see the person somewhere, don't say, no, I already finished begging forgiveness from Krishna and that is accepted, but you should now beg forgiveness if the person comes across your way again. Is that alright? Good. Oh, Lavanga Prabhu is here.
I'm not doctor now.
Did I ask you to speak? Naughty. Okay. We have 2 hands up before we conclude for today. At the back, 2 hands. Yes, Prabhu. Raise your hand if you want to ask a question. Take the microphone. Who has it? Put the microphone on. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
What's your name again?
Newton.
Huh?
Newton.
Newton. Okay, go ahead, Newton. Newton, he wants to video you. Stand up. Yes, Newton. Because you're sitting behind him and I couldn't see you also.
Okay.
Can you hold the microphone here?
So my question was a little bit different from the main topic. I wanted to ask, what's the limit of perseverance or tolerance?
What's the limit of?
What's the limit of perseverance or tolerance?
There is a limit of tolerance and perseverance. Because the limit is within the body, both gross and subtle. But beyond the body is unlimited on the platform of the soul. So the more you become free from the misidentification of the bodily conception of life, then you can persevere and tolerate unlimitedly without you knowing that you're persevering and tolerating. That's on the platform of the soul. That okay?
That is okay, Prabhu.
And sit down.
I have another question.
Sit down. I have another analogy to support your question. You get a coconut. Prabhupada gives the example of a coconut. So when the coconut is completely mature, it separates itself from the hard outer shell. Do you know that? Yes or no? Yes. And when you shake that hard outer shell, you can feel inside something is moving. So that which is moving is the whitish insides of the coconut, like a pulp type of thing. And that is separated from the hard outer shell. So if you administer injury or insult or hurt to the hard outer shell, does it affect the inside of the coconut? No. So similarly, when the spirit soul is fully realized that it's not this body, why in the body? No matter how much insult or injury you give to the body, that spirit soul does not know it is naturally persevering or tolerating, because it's not feeling any pain, but the body is feeling the pain. Just like the hard outer shell of the coconut. And that's your last material body. And in Bhagavad Gita, such a person is called a Jivan Mukta, a liberated soul while still in the body, and no more body again when you leave that body. So we have to come to that point. And it's possible. So if there's no perseverance or tolerance for somebody who is free from the bodily conception of life, while still living as the spirit soul in the particular same body. Is that okay? I give you the microphone on the left. I need to finish on time. We can take your other person tomorrow. Is that okay? Write it down, don't forget. Yes, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I have a question on forgiveness. What if...
Nice. What if the norm is being followed?
What if you wrong?
What if you're not holding the microphone towards your palm? We won't hear you properly now. Hold it close.
What if you wrong the person?
What if you?
Wrong the person.
What if you wronged a person, yes?
And you've been asking him forgiveness.
Yes.
But every time you ask him for forgiveness, you get the same answer. So you...
What's the answer?
I'll think of it.
Hmm?
Or no. So
You are saying that you beg forgiveness from a person and you repeatedly beg forgiveness, but they give you the same answer.
Yeah, so
What is that same answer from the other person?
Okay, it's confusing because the first time you say, I've forgiven you, the second...
Can you hold the microphone close?
Okay, the first time he will say like, it's okay, but you are not so sure. Then the second time you say, leave me alone. So you are not satisfied that he has forgiven.
Nice. This is practical what you're saying. Yeah. So we have 16 ways as a priesthood. What are those 16 ways?
He is not a devotee.
Huh?
He's not a devotee.
Doesn't you answer my question? Were you here earlier on today?
Yeah.
Did you write 16 ways of a priesthood?
Yeah.
You can apply one or more of those 16 ways and get support from other devotees, irrespective whether you're begging forgiveness from a devotee or somebody who's not a devotee. So go to those 16 ways. Open your book. Open it now. Now name me 2 of the 16 precepts that you will apply to help yourself to get a support system from other devotees. So you don't carry this in your consciousness and you become free from it and peaceful. What page are we on with that? 16 ways.
Page 14.
14. So name me 2 ways of the 16 ways that you can practically apply to help yourself as a priestess in relation to this other person who's not a devotee.
Give it time.
Huh?
Give it time.
Give it time. Another way, that's good. Another way?
Confess through writing.
Huh?
Confess through writing.
Yes. You can write a letter to the person or a text message or an email. We good?
No.
Are we good?
No.
Are we good?
No, we are not.
No. Why?
I think I've tried everything in the list.
Hmm?
I think I've tried everything in the list.
But the list was not there before this example. Huh? You haven't tried some things on the list. Did you speak to senior devotees about it?
Maybe that one.
Which last one?
Maybe that one. That one I've not tried.
Which one?
Approach a senior devotee.
That's not the last one. Approaching a friend is the last one. Right? Yes, in the list. So you approach a senior devotee and you explain your situation. Okay? You good? You didn't even do it and you said you're not good. Naughty. Prabhu, which senior devotee are you going to approach? Let's practically apply this for you now. It's not practical. What senior devotee you can approach?
Approach Benson.
Where's Benson? Where is that? Is he here?
Yes.
Where? Benson, stand up. So Benson, please help him out. Are we good now? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. That's your police step. Approach Benson. Thank you very much. There was somebody in the front with their hand up. Okay, last one for today. And move on. Yeah.
We are to forgive and not forget. We are to forgive and not forget.
Yeah, because we are so ingrained with such a thought and influence in the material world. I can forgive, but I cannot forget. Everyone puts it in your head. Our forgiveness in our process is the language of the heart, not of the head. You understand? So it's not a emotional or mental exercise. Neither is an intellectual or philosophical exercise in the head somewhere, in the subtle way of the mind or the brain or something. No. This exercise comes from the simplicity of the language of the heart. Therefore it is different. So when you do that, Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo. That's the first time I'm quoting a verse to support this in this class. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. This is in chapter 15, text number 15. Matta sarvam pravadite. No, that is I'm the source of all material and spiritual worlds. But 15:15 is sarvasya chaham hridayasthanistu. I am sitting in everyone's heart. Matta smiti jnana apohanam cha. And from me comes matta smiti, remembrance, smiti. Jnana, knowledge. Apohanam cha, forgetfulness. This comes from Krishna. And therefore, in order for you to have faith in that, you have to have faith in the second two lines. Vedasa sarvai aham eva vedya. Vedantakat vedavid eva chaham. Eva chaham means I am to be known as the conclusion of all the Vedic knowledge. Krishna. So when you have that faith that Krishna is in your heart, and from Krishna comes knowledge, remembrance and forgetfulness, and when you engage in the exercise of forgiveness, then what happens to you? If Krishna wants you to remember, see, because you said forgive and
not forget.
You may forgive, but you will not forget. Yes. But that's not in your control. Because one is influenced. Either you are influenced materially or you are influenced spiritually. So Krishna's influence spiritually means he causes you to remember what you needed to be remembered, to be still connected to Krishna. He doesn't want to lose you. And he gives you knowledge sufficiently to connect you. And he causes you to forget apohanam cha, that you don't need to remember something which will be negative in your consciousness, which will be like making you unhappy. And Krishna doesn't want to make you unhappy. He wants to make you remember things to connect to him. So leave that to Krishna. You know, it's not that it's easy to forgive, but it's difficult to forget. That's a material thing. That's like everyone goes around saying that. And then you get influenced by that. Now another thing is that forgetfulness of something may be there temporarily, but it will be completely not be there in the consciousness, especially at the time of leaving this body, which is the main time. So Krishna will be there. See? So one disciple asked Srila Prabhupada, and we will conclude with this. It's almost time. Srila Prabhupada, if I cannot remember Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada said, you don't have to worry. Lord Chaitanya will jump into your consciousness and he will help you remember Krishna. Another time Srila Prabhupada was asked a similar question, what is the time of death if I cannot remember Krishna, what will happen to me? Another birth again. Srila Prabhupada said, you don't have to worry. So long as you follow the 4 regulative principles and chant minimum 16 rounds daily and do not commit offense to devotees and engage in Krishna consciousness by giving Krishna consciousness to others, if you do all these things, that is my responsibility and the time of death. Is that all right?
Yes.
Good. Now, I know there's some outstanding questions. Please write them down. Don't forget them. So we can continue to take those questions tomorrow. I have a few announcements to make. One is that we are beginning again tomorrow at 7:45 in the morning. And we're going to do the first session till 9 o'clock. Then 9 to 9:30 is breakfast. And then again from 9:30 till 1:30. Now, I may go a little beyond 1:30 tomorrow afternoon. It may end also at 1:30, I'm not sure, because of the questions that you may have that takes time. But we're definitely not meeting in the evening. You getting it? Tomorrow evening from 4:30 till 7, we are not meeting because I covered enough lessons to complete the next sessions up to session 11, which is shorter. This was the lengthiest one. We can easily complete it by 1:30 tomorrow. But if there's more questions, it may take another half an hour. So can we do that? Complete by 2 o'clock at least, and then we don't need to come back in the evening from 4:30 to 7. Yeah. So that's an announcement. And the announcement for the water, those devotees can help, right? Can bring it tomorrow. God, where did you leave it? Give it to Govinda Prem. Yes. Good. Now, who's helping with setting up the classroom, neating it, cleaning the floor? Who's the team for that? Where's the devotee? What's his name? Prasad is offered on the altar also. You know? Although it's going to be served downstairs when you go on the ground floor there. Yeah. So they need time when the offering comes out to transfer, wash the plates and so forth. So safely speaking, now Gaura Arti is starting, right? You can attend Gaura Arti, and I just got a message that Prasadam will be served at 7:30. That's after Gaura Arti, which is the normal time we serve Prasadam. Is that alright? Yes. So you can go and to Gaura Arti, and then after the normal Prasadam at 7:30. So I look forward to your nice association again tomorrow morning at 7:45, and then we'll continue for almost half a day, and not the full day is today. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. His Grace Lavanga Prabhupada